Howdy troops, I'm Dirty Walk 75 and I'm here with Gallifrey Madman for your GLC Podcast. Here we go again.
What's up, guys?
How was that? That was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you did a fine job. It sounded professional.
Professional?
Yeah, I know. That's not often a word you hear used with you, but, you know.
I think it's a word you won't hear in the GLC, to be honest with you. It's blasphemy.
Yeah, but hey, we're a family. We all love each other until we don't.
I think some love themselves on each other a bit, maybe too much.
Yeah, I can think of a couple. But I don't think they're actually with the GLC anymore. I know they were, but...
You've gone dark. Well, I didn't see that coming. You've gone that way, okay. Anyway, we're back. We're back.
We're back. And so how was your week? What'd you do this past week?
My week was quite enjoyable, actually. I've been looking forward to this second podcast. The first one kind of went on a bit, and we promised not to do the man loving P-cars, but an interesting week. Ups and downs at work, but try to keep myself busy. And even though I've sort of designed my little man cave, I'm still not happy with it. So I'm trying to come up with a functional design that's going to work for me. It worked when I done it, but there's too much.
You know, that seems to be a recurring pattern with you. You never seem to be happy with anything.
It's not that I'm not happy. It's just I don't know. I want to have a setup that it gives me space, but it's functional. But I like things to be kind of like symmetrical. So I like you got something have a unit across the corner, a gap at the back. I can't do that.
So basically, what you're informing GLC is look out for you because you've got a bit of OCD.
It's not OCD. It's the right way. Do you know what I mean?
I think we got a new nickname for you. We're going to call you Monk.
Hey, come on. Oh, I know that show, yeah.
I don't know. Most of you don't know that. It was a television show.
It was, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it was very funny. Pretty uneventful week for me. As you know, I work all through the week. I'm not a go to work, come home kind of guy yet, although I'm trying.
Fingers crossed that, man.
Yeah, that job I was looking at kind of been put on hold right now, so I'm in a holding pattern, still stuck doing the same old. So until then, we'll see what goes, how it works out. But either way, I still got a job. I can still pay my bills, so I guess it's still good.
At least that's one thing, mate, innit? Like, that's the one thing. At least you're still bringing in the bucks.
Yep.
So you like the GLC 747 and holding pattern?
Yeah.
Now that brings up some images and some pictures. It really does. Some sort of Titanic stuff for your arms out.
Yeah. Yep. So we got some interesting things to talk about this week, though.
We do.
We got some continuing series going. We've got some new series starting. Some things for the first time. I think the first thing...
juicy.
Yeah, oh yes, very juicy. I guess basically we're just going to touch on it real quick. For the real in-depth stuff, as far as what goes on in these races, of course you have our videos, which you can watch on the GLC website or at the GLC Media webpage, or not webpage, but YouTube channel.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, please do subscribe, and don't forget to
hit that button.
Hit the like buttons, thumbs up, thumb down. If you don't like what we're doing, if you've got suggestions for us, let us know. We're always welcome to suggestions. I'm not sure if we said it last week or not, but after we get this going, I'm not sure whether maybe next week or the following week, but we're going to be looking to include guests onto our show.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I know we've had a couple people put out interest. They've put out interest.
They're begging us. Yeah.
That they'll be very happy to be included and to take part of it, which is good. This is what we want. We really want some good community participation.
I think it's going to open up a little bit once we get the guests in and the chit chat starts. It'd be amazing how many secrets we're going to find out. If you think you're going to have an easy run, you're not. There will be questions asked, and the rules are quite simple. You cannot deflect any question. You have to answer every single question. That's part of the rules. So if you want to join us, just prepare yourselves.
And if you have some trash talk to be talking, at least keep it civil.
Yeah.
But basically, just to get underway, the jumping right into our races, what we got coming up for this Saturday, which of course sitting by its lonesome now, as it's been for so long, is the original Forza series, the main racing league that basically kickstarted GLC. They've ended the previous season, and of course for the standings on that, you can catch my video that was posted earlier during the week. And now they're going to be jumping into the basically a cup, because everybody knows our format. You basically do a league, then you do a cup or two in between, and then you jump into another league. So now that the league has finally ended, which was of course postponed from the prior week because of lag issues, they're going into another GLC Cup. Everybody knows what happens when you go into GLC Cups. It's not just like an ordinary cup.
It's a pick and mix.
Yeah, pretty much
It's a pick and mix in it, yeah.
Bunch of different cars, bunch of different tracks. It's basically a hodgepodge of racing when it comes to Forza.
Keeps it fresh because you don't know what's coming.
Right.
That's the best thing about it. Yeah. I did enjoy the old cups when I used to do the Forza. I got to admit.
Yeah.
There was always something different. You spend sort of 6, 8. I think our very first season was like 10 weeks in the modern GTs. It's kind of a welcome break to do something just a little bit different.
Yeah. Also, there's sometimes be a lot of people that don't show up during the. Not that they don't show up at all, but they don't show up consistently every week. But you tend to get more of those people that do show up for the one night cups.
Yeah.
So, and basically it's because they're fun and they're interesting, just like Project Cars did last week with the first ever running of the Nordschleife GP combined on the Nürburgring. That was a lot of fun. I have to admit, it was a lot of fun. It was great to have that as the first thing that we did. And basically, the first cup the first cup we've run for Project Cars.
Yeah. And it will definitely not be the last.
Oh no,
definitely be the last.
No. Definitely going to come up with some more new and interesting ideas. But like anything, even with Forza, we'll revisit some tried and true fun formats, and it's a nice thing about the cups is they're a one night thing, so it's just like anything goes, did I lose Ewok?
No. I'm stoked through the Forza Cars, Project Cars. It's a new love, really is. We're not going to do Man Love on Project Cars.
No.
In this episode. We've promised we're not. We didn't realise how long we'd gone on last week. But yeah, but it is.
Well, we're going to be jumping into Project Cars right now. So
yes,
because that's coming up because our next group of racing we've got on Sunday will be of course we have both Forza and Project Cars running, but because we just talked about Forza, let's talk about Project Cars. Project Cars Season 2 is starting. And Season 2 is going to basically be everybody in the same car because, of course, it's the only car available in the class. But we're going to be running the Mercedes-Benz AMG C Coupe DTM, which is beautiful.
A dream.
Oh, the car's beautiful to drive.
Even in stock, it is a nice car to drive.
A little bouncy, but it is a beautiful car. A beautiful car to drive. It drives like a dream.
Even in manual. It's actually one car I don't mind driving in manual. I got to admit, I do enjoy it in manual. The only obviously downside to it is that because somebody else holds the license for the DTM cars, is that we have to make do with a two-tone paint job that Johnny Age 5 has slapped on the car. But obviously that's just cosmetics. It's about the racing at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, well, on Project Cars, we don't really worry about the race numbers like on Forza, because of course we can't go into detail painting our cars. You can only choose individual setups or pre-selected liveries or liveries, whichever country you're from. But hopefully that'll change in Project Cars 2, and we'll be able to design our own cars. Because right now the designing is only in the PC version.
Yeah, it's always the PC folks, isn't it?
Yeah, no, they get everything, little bastards.
but I've got to say, if they had a life, they would have a console. That's what I'm gonna say.
Well, they have to.
PC dudes.
They can't do that. They're too busy in their mother's basement.
Yes,
but
too busy saving up for the next upgrade.
But it's basically going to be it's of course the format is 2 races, each 12 laps long, and we're not going to be running a qualifying lap on any of them. It's just going to be jumping right into the racing, basically getting a taste of the good old days of GLC, which is before. Because we only had the Forza back then, and this was before Forza did qualifying. So that was the way we did things. It was just, okay, here you go, random grid. Where you end up, that's where you start the race. So we're basically going to go for a little bit of taste of nostalgia,
I think it'll work. I really do. I think it's going to push it back into the realms of fun. Yes, it's friendly competition, but if for all 2 races in a row, you might be in the middle of the pack, so you got to fight back. You might be at the back, so you've got to fight through everybody. And the way Project Cars runs, is sometimes it's not that easy just to smash it into the first corner and get ahead. But yeah, I think it's a fresh way of looking at Project Cars. I think it's going to bring a lot of enjoyment for even new drivers.
Yeah, and we've got some really good tracks. We got some really good tracks to be running that night too to kick off Season 2. A favorite of I think most everybody, Watkins Glen, will be the first track we run, and then a track that is not available on Forza. So some of you Forza racers might not know the track, but we're going to be running the second race on Sakito,
which is lovely.
It's
plenty of elevation changes.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's an overly technical track, but it's a challenging track at times.
I think if it's a shame you don't get tracks like that on Forza, because I think it would lend itself to some of the options that Forza gives you for vehicles and what have you. Definitely.
They get a
spectacular
taste.
See some of the.
They get a
taste.
They get a taste because they really did. Forza actually did a really good job when they brought in the VIR, the Virginia International Raceway. That
really
was a
good track.
Yes, awesome track, very good track, and it was a track that really it tested everything when it came to elevation changes. It tested your cornering. straightaways. It had decent straightaways. So it was kind of one of those tracks that sits right in the middle. But I think it's probably one of the closest tracks that Forza has that can compare to something like Sakita, or Zolder, or those tracks that give you some nice elevation changes, but good straightaways and not overly technical. You know.
I mean, I think one of the comforting things about the Virginia track is even in the wet, it's actually a nice track to drive.
Yes.
You know, obviously Forza has some of these tracks where these puddles just sit lap after lap. And, you know, for drivers, you know, you get the odd puddle, but you can have a good competitive race on it, even in, you know, in the worst of weather. I mean, even like, you know, the 865s, modern GTs, they sit very well on Virginia in the wet.
Yes.
Very well.
Yes,
so,
they
yeah.
do.
Definitely.
Actually, another class of cars that actually sat pretty well there because we ran them, which was the first time on Forza that Virginia was actually used. It was during the V8s, and the V8 supercars actually ran very nicely on Virginia.
I'm not a big fan of the V8s. I know you were. I know a few other people were. They were loving the V8s. I don't know. I couldn't get that connection with the V8s. I don't know what it was.
See, I can't get it with Project Cars. I think the V8 supercar in Project Cars is horrible, and of course they only give you one option.
Yeah, terrible. Yep.
So I will give the nod to Forza when it comes to the V8 supercars, as far as having a selection and a playable option. They definitely don't have that in Project Cars. So as it stands right now, it's probably not a class you'll ever see us run, just because it's just a horrible car.
Yeah, it's overpowered. It's way OP on P cars.
Two-tail happy.
Even when you bring down all your traction and you slip, the back end's just so angry. It just wants to go, and it doesn't really care what the front of the car is doing, or the driver for that matter. So yeah, I think Project Cars definitely has that. You know, they're on the pedals when it comes to the touring cars and the V8s and stuff, because they just have it. They obviously have that formula that works.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it will come.
Yeah, and of course the first race there on Watkins Glen. What can you say? I think that's a popular track with everybody. I think maybe I've heard one person say they didn't really enjoy it. And actually, I think it was Coffee. Wasn't it Coffee that doesn't like Watkins Glen?
I think it may be. I mean, the big differences with the Forza and the P cars on Watkins is it's that, you know, the big right-hander. Come down the hill, left hand, you got that hard, almost like a U-bend before you head in that last section. And the differences between the two games is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
On Forza, I would always struggle with it in P cars. I find that corner easier and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, between, I think, any racing game that has that track, it's just one of them tracks where, even if you're a novice driver, you can still be quite competitive on it. It's got something for everybody on that track. And if you've got a busy grid on either game, it makes it even more special.
Yeah,
because it can even though it's narrow, it's fast.
Yes, it's a very fast track.
You find yourself passing in places you probably wouldn't pass maybe on other tracks.
Yep.
So yeah, also when they built it way back when, I think they built it when Gally was a kid. That's how old it is.
You're funny.
Yeah, I tried to be. I do try to be, mate. You know.
But I think what for the differences, though, there is differences when it comes to the two games, because the road surface on the tracks is completely different between the games. As to where Forza, you have which we covered. We mentioned this last episode. Forza has a nice level all around surface area, as to where Project Cars has more of the old natural, before they repaved it, the old natural surface where it was different types of concrete and pavement in different places.
So your traction's all over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a joyful track. I find the track to be a lot more fun on the project cars because some of those turns are a little bit more, they're more manageable only because of the tire model in the game, and the steering for me is just, it's more consistent. So I'm looking forward to some really good racing, especially with the DTM, the Mercedes-Benz DTM.
Going to be good. Going to be very, very good.
Yeah.
So, what's coming up next? What's coming up next, man?
Well, folks, also on Sunday. Hey, there we go. Back to Forza. I believe this is a first. Not that they're running GTs. Of course, GTs aren't a first, but they're running the early GTs. That means the old suckers. Mal should feel right at home.
So, we'll probably see Mal's first car there, yeah.
Yes, that's right, Mal. We called you an old fogey. But I don't know much about the early GTs because never really drove them. How about you?
I found, when I was driving it on Forza, I found that the early cars, if you drove them as they were intended, some of them were pretty undrivable.
You mean slow?
Very no, I mean just even very soft suspension. You go in the corner at 25 and literally your doors hitting the deck. I mean the whole car's cambering off. So I think in the past when we used to run the old cars, they were always upgraded to S or what have you. So you never really got a true feeling as to what the cars were like. Now they are slow, so this is going to be something different for obviously the GLC boys, because everybody likes to go fast. And it's just a thing. No one likes to go slow. But I think we found in the past when we've done like the lower class cars, you could still have like the Clio Cups and stuff. You could still have a really competitive, really fun night or fun season in a car that's slower.
Yeah, but they're not running the slow class though. They're running 865 R class.
No, yeah. Because your reaction times are different. They obviously they don't react like your modern car does.
Oh no, the steering is completely different.
There's still, yeah. So anyone who's not done them, I think the best advice is get yourself in them. Find out what car you want to use and just practice.
Oh yeah,
just until you nail it down. But then when you come off that and you go back to the new cars, good luck with that one. Because you got to let it drive all over again.
Yeah,
it's a crazy one.
That's like switching from Project Cars to Forza without even leaving the Forza game.
Oh, it's chalk and cheese. It is chalk and cheese. You got your power steering and your fancy brake. No, it's done.
Yeah. Nah.
Nice skinny wheels, no traction, no grip. Yeah.
So, but I hear a few guys are looking forward to it. So that's going to be getting underway same night, which is of course Sunday night for Forza. So good luck with that one. Once we get a real feel for that, how that's working, we'll probably have more to talk about, more drivers, shall we say, to keep an eye on. But we're gonna have to wait for that to get underway to really get a feel for how it's going.
I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, it probably will. We have a good quality bunch of racers in the GLC. I think everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice of you to say.
Well,
I'm sure we'll get letters.
I'm not saying we don't have drivers that don't need improvement, or that that there's not drivers that are faster than other people. But as far as the people who play the game, we have a good quality of people.
I totally agree with you. I do. Even some of the weird ones, they're all right in the end.
They fit in.
I mean, the weird ones. They've let them loose with like videos and podcasts, and what were they thinking? I really don't know what they were thinking.
They're a bunch of nutty bastards.
Just put the nutters in the same basket. They're going on just fine.
Hey, well, what do you want? The guy who runs the place is a monkey with his bananas.
He's got a really, really unhealthy infatuation with bananas.
Yes, he does.
WhatsApp goes nuts. There's bananas everywhere. I keep slipping on my phone.
I'm still waiting for my shipment. He owes me a crate.
A crate?
Oh yeah,
They'll be gone.
If I ever get them, he probably eats them all before he can even ship them.
Last I heard, he left them in his bedroom. Enough said about that. Okay. Now, I'm interested in the next little thing that Forza's got up and running, actually.
Well, yeah, of course, we're staying with Forza because that's the main racing game we've got running right now. But yeah, what do we got?
It's hard not to drift back to the other thing, isn't it? Well, we've got a little it's a hairdresser's car, really, isn't it? Yeah. So up next with the Forza, they've got the touring cars. Week 5 touring cars. Now, very popular is the old touring cars on Forza, and sometimes I think, getting rid of Forza was the good thing, but I am where I am because I did enjoy the touring cars, and I always enjoyed the battles on track. For me, I always had coffee. I was either just in front or right up my rear end, and it was always great.
Oh, you were like that on the GTs too.
Yeah. I did enjoy the old touring cars. And it was, I used to switch between, I think I'd run the Merc once, and then I had the, what was the other one? The Avensis. I think the Avensis it's a shame it's so underpowered, because in the real touring car world, it is not a force to be
Are you talking about the Toyota?
It's respected. Yeah, it's a respected car, but for some reason in Forza, it doesn't have that edge, which I think.
No, yeah, that and the Civic, they're both completely underpowered.
Yeah. It's a shame, and I don't understand it, because the Avensis, front wheel drive, it is a really, really nice car to drive. It really is, and I think if they just if they that other little update or something, just to put it up there with the rest of the touring cars, the sort of big names and stuff, it's a shame.
Yeah.
But needless to say, this season's touring cars will be like any other season. It will be successful. It'll be full of action, laughter. If Ramey's in party, you can guarantee that. And there'll be tears and tantrums, as there is with any league.
Yeah.
But it is going to be good. It is going to be really good.
Yeah, but the only thing is like, and this is one of the complaints I'd always have when it came to Forza, and they always seem to concentrate more on the amount of cars they had in the game. And touring car class has a very widespread, excellent selection of cars. But because of what Forza, or basically the way Forza is unlike Project Cars, where cars are spec'd for their class, and you really can't create a more powerful car than what you're supposed to be allowed for that class of car. Forza, with this whole engine swapping and doing work to the engines and all this other stuff, really takes away from the car classes, because they have such a wide selection when it comes to touring cars, but only 2 or 3 cars, mainly 2, is what I'm seeing used for the touring car season that they're running right now. But there's so many other good cars, but because Forza doesn't program the cars in properly, they're not. It's not a competitive class. It's just like, here's all these cars, but only maybe 1 or 2 of them are actually good to use. You know what I'm saying?
It's such a shame, because if you were to start racing on the touring cars, even watch a replay, it'd be nice to see the full grid of the spectrum that's available to you.
Right.
And you don't. I think it would make it be a sort of more interesting race. If you got the full spectrum. because you've got all the different handling and pros and cons of each vehicle, and it would definitely mix it up. Because sometimes you find when you're in a racing game, whether it be Forza, Project Cars, or whatever, but if you have like certain vehicles that everyone's going to choose, it can start sort of becoming more generic and predictable because, well, you know what, that car is going to do it in that sort of time. That car is going to pull away from that car on the straight and stuff. And that's a shame. When drivers try as hard as they can, and it doesn't matter how hard you try or how good a tune you've got, when you know that certain vehicles, no matter what you do to them, are going to be slow in the straight or fast in the straight or whatever, and it's another challenge obviously drivers have got to overcome. I suppose that makes it interesting for the people who have the games.
Yeah.
But it is a bit of an imbalance.
Yeah.
But I mean, stepping away from that, the game itself, and the season of the touring cars is going to be a fun one. It always is.
Yeah.
It's obviously proven popular because, yet again, it's another season. And I'm in no doubt there'll be even more seasons. And I just hope that maybe Forza decide to, instead of putting all these exotic cars into Forza, they go, you know what, let's look at the groups we've got, maybe enhancing the groups we've got, instead of trying to find all these new exotic cars and chucking them in where people aren't going to use them.
Well, I think what they need to, I think what they need to do
focus.
is concentrate more on racing. Is if you're going to have these type of race classes, I mean, you want to have the whole engine swapping stuff and all. That's fine to do with like the tuner street cars, your RX-7 and all that other stuff. But when it comes to the actual racing cars, you need to treat it like it's supposed to be treated. A car is only supposed to be able to do so much. They're all supposed to be spec'd the exact same, with very minor differences. So until Forza really creates that, I can't look at it as a serious racing game. It's more of a game for a car enthusiast to see what they can do to a car with their imagination, and that's what the game is for me.
It's like Need for Speed, but it actually works.
Yeah,
that's the way I'd say Forza is. Need for Speed they've got the right idea. They've got the vision for it, but their execution isn't always there. I don't think Need for Speed has evolved with the times necessarily, and I think that's where Forza have managed to fill in that gap in the market, where it's not a sim, but it's not a total arcade. It bounces somewhere around the middle, and obviously it clearly has the audience. It has the attention of millions of gamers around the world. It is. It's enjoyable. It's got something for everybody.
I think my biggest problem is you take the two formats for Forza. You have your Motorsport, and then you have your Horizon. Okay, they should be two completely different games. They should, but when you really peel away the layers, they're not. They're the exact same game with a different different background. One is you're not allowed to leave a track, and the other one you're allowed to drive everywhere. But other than that, the mechanics of the game are the exact same. So it's like,
I mean, when I had Forza Horizon 2, I never tuned. I learned to tune in Forza 6, and I went back to Forza Horizon 2 for a bit to muck around, and I started tuning. And I thought, oh, they actually put a different element to the game. But that's if you're a tuner and stuff. But I totally agree with what you're saying. It's two different backdrops, same game, and I just hope that the new edition of Forza is that they step back slightly from the looking at let's have the fastest cars, the most exotic cars. Let's have cars that are actually drivable. All games are guilty of it, of adding extra vehicles to the game, and sometimes they're just not drivable at all.
I think too many cars is a waste.
The amount of tracks that are on this planet, this little globe that we all live on, it's a shame that games in general, race games in general, limit themselves to a small amount, and they think that that their audience wants to 300 cars, 400 cars. No, we want different tracks.
Yeah, we
We're
want
happy with the cars
substance.
but we just want to run it. Yeah.
You know, then of course there's always, oh well, the licensing costs. Why do you need licensing? Okay, Forza Motorsports 4 is still considered the best Forza Motorsports ever. It's the best one they've ever done, and it was popular. And what did that one have? That one had imaginary tracks that weren't real, that Turn 10 created to have more tracks in the game. So again, why do we need licenses? Why do we have to have real world tracks? Where in the gamer's Bible of racing
Would it be...
did we say we wanted all the tracks to be actual real tracks? We just want tracks. They don't need to be real world tracks.
Now, see, here's something I've done. If a developer was to design a track, let's say they took a corner from every track that they've got in streets and then built tracks out of existing sections of tracks, would that then still be breaking license? Because essentially they're using that corner from that track. So I suppose they've then got to look at, right, we're going to design a track from scratch for people to actually properly race on.
Yeah, well,
You need some serious sort of abilities to be able to put a track together.
There's got to be minor
raceable properly.
Yeah, it's got to be minor differences, you know, but
Yeah,
it can't be a carbon copy, because even using a 3-foot section of a track, if it's exactly the same, it's a copyright issue.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all you need to do is just make that little alteration. But like I said, you don't need a real world track. I don't need tracks like Laguna Seca, okay? And okay, what is Laguna Seca? Mazda Laguna Seca is one of my favorite tracks, bar none, out of anywhere to race. Why can't we race those tracks in reverse on video games? It's a freaking video game. Why can't we run it from reverse for fun?
Or here's a thought. Now this, I think, I don't really mean to mention P cars at this point, but the time of day you can race.
Yes.
You drop that into Forza, and every single track you've got becomes a brand new track, because all your reference points change. Your tires don't heat up as fast. It's a brand new race. I think, you know, maybe that's something they should look at as well. It's adding timings into the race.
Yeah.
Because you've got 24 hours to play with, and it's like,
yeah, that's another great feature.
The choices are endless.
You know, which is it's an option on Project Cars. You can race any weather, any time of day, any situation. You know, whether it be nighttime, fog, rain, drizzly rain, overcast, beautiful sunshiny weather. You can change the temperatures. It's
the time of year.
Yeah, the time of year. You could change all of that for every track, no matter what you do. If that would be a tremendous leap forward for Forza to include that, because I mean, we're less than a year away from what should be Forza 7, right? If they follow the normal pattern. So hopefully by E3 we'll be hearing some news as far as the Forza 7. But they I think they really need to step it up. They need to not be the same ho hum. Okay, this is just another Forza. You know, we don't need a rehash of, okay, this was Xbox One's coming out, so here's Forza 5. Here's half the job we've done so far for Forza 6 that we haven't gotten finished yet, but here, play this. Yeah. And then release Forza 6 going, well, here, this is what Forza 5 was actually supposed to be. We just couldn't get it done in time. Yeah, it's.
I don't think the community. Yeah, I really don't think the community and the fan base would let Turn 10 away with it. I don't think a company, studio developer who has the fan base they've got and the pedigree they've got would do something as silly. Well, you would hope they wouldn't do something as silly as being complacent and going, right, it's just cars they want. there's 300 cars with some mediocre tracks. I don't think they would do it.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't do it, because the fans deserve better, and the following that the GLC has when it comes to Forza, it's definitely part of the DNA of the GLC, and I think Forza's here to stay, and it's going to be successful.
Yeah, I would just like to see Turn 10 include something or create something in the next Forza game that would actually draw me back to it, make me want to, well, hey, I want to take a look at it now, because there's got to be some drastic changes for me to be interested. If it's just a little bit more tracks, more cars, and pretty much same old, then Forza 7 will never get put into my Xbox, because I'm not interested.
I think their tire model as well is something that needs a little bit of attention, and they don't have to do much. I mean, hands together, pray to the gaming gods that they pull it off and come out with something that's absolutely blows everybody at the water. Mm-hmm. I think they need it. I think they've not lost their way, but they're getting a bit complacent. And I think the gaming world needs it as well. Another game just to sort of blow people. Because when Forza 6 came out, it blew everybody at the wall.
Yeah,
they were like, "What is this? This is truly amazing." And I think they can do it again. I'm no doubt that they will.
Except for those idiots who thought Drive Club was a good game.
Is that one that I bought?
Yeah, that one you wasted £7 on.
I thought you weren't going to mention that. Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh no. I enjoy letting people know they bought garbage.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you for showing me up in front of our 3 audience members.
The only thing that game Drive Club did right is they gave a good weather physics. Other than that, the rest of it was just garbage. It showed the proper way to do weather when it came to rain and stuff, but as far as the physics of the game itself, as far as driving, it's just horrible crap.
Yep, arcadey.
Well, that's just it. It was an arcade game. It was never meant to be anywhere near a sim.
Well, yeah, the studio's closed down now, so what does that tell you?
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, it was. It was basically just Need for Speed, the run without the story. If you ask me.
Now, Need for Speed, the run, but I was so excited when that game was getting.
Oh, I was excited when they announced that one too.
Right, and the game came out, and the story was kind of cool. Right, story was cool. I'm sure it was like something off a film. I'm sure it was anyway. The story was familiar. Yeah, it's a film that's on tip of my tongue. Can't think what it is. The story was kind of taken from. I thought this is going to be awesome. And then you done the racing, and you're like, "What is this?" I felt so empty.
Yeah, well, because they took the whole free roam out of the game.
It was. I mean, even like some of the.
It was just linear. It was linear race after race after race.
Yeah, the big set pieces. Again, were just. This is really boring, and some of them were actually quite frustrating. Mm-hmm. It was mad, a split second between you crossing the tracks or getting hit by a train or what have you. And it was a shame to have something, an idea, and to royally F it up in such style. Yeah. I suppose it is Need for Speed. I mean, even the latest donation, we'll call it, to the gaming world. By the way, yes, Need for Speed Deluxe Editions are actually £20 on the store if you've got gold. But it saved you £20.
That's actually not. I got it, and it's not that bad of a game.
They've tried to make it look like
real world
Need for Speed.
Yeah, but well, it's kind of I think it's kind of a rehash of Carbon, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. It's got that Carbon feel to it.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
But
I've got it, but I very rarely play it.
I've got it too, and I don't really play it that much, but it was always nice to have because I liked those. Of course, before I was racing with with sims and I was racing with groups. Of course, I was on a controller, and when it came to track-based games, other than I think maybe the first Grid, I think I did pretty decent with the first Grid. But
Grid was good.
Yeah, but I didn't race with online. I actually, I think I've only been online for the past 4 years. Other than that, I never played games online. So I spent most of my gaming career offline. I was one of those guys who bitched and moaned. And here's the funny part. I was one of those guys that bitched and moaned every time they released a game that concentrated on multiplayer. And I was always the one that says, you're taking away from it. But nobody listened. And then now I'm online. I'm an online gamer now 4 years ago, blah, 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 blah. And then what starts happening? More and more online. And then a game like Titanfall comes out, and the next thing, people lose their shit because there's no solo campaign. It's been going on like this for years, people, and you're all of a sudden going to be upset because a game doesn't have a solo campaign?
Well, there was a single player, but it wasn't really a campaign, was it? I mean, we're talking about EA here.
It was a training. It was basically a training campaign, is what it was, and it earned you things to get into the multiplayer.
I mean, like you're talking about like games that have that are solely multiplayer. We're talking about Need for Speed, obviously the EA, and you go to like Star Wars Battlefront. Loads of hype, and it ended up being Battlefield in costume. They had no feeling of a Star Wars game, apart from the fact that it looked like Star Wars, and that's a shame. It really is.
Yeah, that game was all beautiful, all beauty and no substance.
But then you look at gaming in general. Is that the way the industry works now is the money is made from DLC. Now, if it had the DLC to work, it has to be multiplayer because that opens it up to everybody.
Right,
and that's what brings people on. Is get into the online lobbies and trolling people and kicking off and kids screaming at you on Call of Duty.
I just thought it was just strange because you even see it nowadays with games like Battlefield games that started off with they were strictly online multiplayer 100%. All of a sudden now to where when they came to console with Battlefield 2 and really hit the market with them and started creating campaign stuff in those games, next thing you know, it was hell froze over or it was the apocalypse if Battlefield left off a campaign or didn't have a good enough campaign, which you're talking about a game that was built strictly as a multiplayer, and now you're not even letting them do that. But yet nobody had a problem with it all the years I wasn't an online player. I was the one who felt left out. I don't know.
See, my first online experience in gaming, let's ignore what I do my own time, in gaming was Gotham Racing on the Xbox, the original Xbox. Mm-hmm. That was my first experience at Xbox Live and multiplayer gaming, and I was like, I'm chatting to some complete stranger on a headset, and it opened the game up. So instead of sat in your room doing these tracks over and over by yourself, the fact that you got a party of people, back then it was like 6 people, 8 people in a party in a game. It's now 64 people. It's crazy. I think it's amazing the way gaming has come. I mean, you go back in the days, PlayStation Network, they had that online thing with SOCOM Navy SEALs. We had Xbox Live, the SOCOM racing and stuff. And you look at it now and you think, in such a short space of time, really, not that long, within a decade, we've gone from having struggling connections to the stuff we can do online now. Is in a game on a server is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
You're talking about me. I'm an original gamer. I'm an original gamer from the very first video game system you could buy for your home. Okay, that's how long. Yeah, the Magnavox Odyssey, the very first home console, was the first console I played. Yes, I'm that
I don't
old.
know what that is. Wow. Don't know what that is.
It was long before the Atari 2600 and all that. But you know that's what I was gaming. I was playing those original games like Pac-Man and Space Invaders, but I was playing them in the arcades before they were in the home. And you'd play those and Berserker and Missile Command, and you know that's where I started my gaming career, experiences, and my gaming life. It grabbed a hold of me, and I never let it. It stayed with me my entire life. But to go back and look at what I was doing as a kid now, and seeing what these kids nowadays get to enter into, it's like you have no idea what you are talking about when you're complaining about frames per second, because you just don't get it.
Right. I mean, when I was a kid, it was like going down the arcade and playing Turtles, Ninja Turtles. You had the 4 joysticks around the arcade machine, all different colours. Playing Streets of Rage. Mm-hmm. I mean, my first computer was an Amstrad CPC 464 with a built-on tape deck.
Yep.
You'd spend 25 minutes listening to some cassettes screaming at you to get the game to load.
Yeah, so you could play Centipede.
Yeah, so you'd hit fast, like rolling on the ropes. You hit fast forward, just try and get it to load a bit quicker, and then you skip a bit of data, so you have to rewind the whole thing and start again. But yeah, it's gaming. I love it. It's my life.
Yeah,
it sure is my. That's quite sad to say that, but it is. It's, you know, it used to be for kids, and they don't. I'm just glad it developed into what it is now. And lent itself to.
I've been gaming for 40 years,
and I mean, if you go back, say 20 years, about 20 years, even 25 years, and said, you know what, when I'm 40, or whatever age Gally is, if you were to say, like, you know, in 20 years' time, I'm going to be sat down playing a computer game, you'd be like, really? You're going to amount to nothing? You are nothing. Really? Get a job. Be an adult. But it is what it is. It's, you know, you can't argue with the facts. You can't argue with the amount of money that's in this industry. And I mean, some of the games now, the money goes into it is matching, and in some cases exceeding, the budgets of movies.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of tells you all you need to know about it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous, and I don't know. I don't think there's any real answers to the solutions to the problems. All I know is there's no way to make everybody happy, and it's always going to be this way. It's just going to be for when it's just take us in the GLC. Those of us who we fight against Forza, we no longer conform to play Forza just so we can be included. We finally started the whole Project Cars thing, saying, listen, we just don't enjoy this anymore. We're not going to do it just so we can be included. We're going to start this over here, and we'll do whatever we can, and we'll just try to enjoy ourselves. But we just, and I don't think there's any real world way of doing that when it comes to the rest of the industry. But as far as us in the GLC, we can do that, and we have the freedom given to us by our glorious leader, Merlin Mal. So he allows us this to go, you know what, let's give us some diversity and give more options. So, and that's what we did. We broke off. We've created the Project Cars League. And not only was that, but to bring in the last day of racing, which we've kind of broken off with that tangent we went on, is Wednesday's racing, which is another format that we've brought. It was brought to us by Looney Tunes, who runs that. It's his baby. And it is our F1 Racing League, which, again, Ewok is the one who covers that in the news. He also is participates in it. So take it away, Ewok. What do we got? We got Canada coming up, correct?
We do. Canada's a nice track. It really is. We've we've just done Monaco. That was emotional. But obviously, if you've watched the my video, you see. Obviously, you found it on all the juicy goss that went on. So we're not going to recap on that. Canada is nice. It's fast. It's flowing, and it's relatively a short track. So envisages a lot of laps on that, and it's not too hard on the tires as well. So pit stops and stuff will be quite interesting. But F1 it's taken off well. It really has. It's got a good audience. We've got some teams in there. Coughlin has bought the game.
Ooh, coffee.
So, might see coffee enter the league. We'll see what happens there. But it's one of them games. I went on a bit last week, but it's doing really, really well. Everybody's enjoying it. And it's something different. It's a breakaway from, the Forza bread and butter that we've had, and also the P cars that we've mentioned, I think. But yeah, it's really, really good for it to be for the F1 World Gaming side of it. For them to say it's the best F1 game ever, I can only go off what they've said because it's the first time I've ever bought the game. But it's the little things. We had. Ron Catalina way well back, and Parch Monk was doing so well. 33 lap race. That was lap 27 or 28, and he lost it on the straight. And that was him. He was out on the straight. So it doesn't matter if you're really good or you're a novice. Novices finish it. And you've got people who are flying on the track, mad times, and one little slip up and they're gone. But yeah, so if it is something you're interested in or thinking about, get hold of it. Honestly, get hold of it. You won't regret it. And if you are a racer, whether that's Forza, P cars, if you happen to have Drive Club, or you are took part in Need for Speed. If you're a racer, just at heart, it's definitely a game to get. You've got the speed, you've got the action, and the concentration levels are high. The littlest mistake and you're off track. But highly enjoyable, and it's on every Wednesday. Looney Tunes is the guy that he's the face of it, and he passed a message on the other week to myself, Mal, and Maverick for helping him, keep it running and getting everyone involved and doing the admin, and sorting the scores out and getting everyone together for it. And it was a welcomed acknowledgement. He's a top guy. He knows his stuff. And if you get into it and you're struggling, he's definitely the guy to speak to. There's nothing he doesn't know about the cars or certain your downforce and stuff. He's definitely there to help you. He gave me a little bit of help and some pointers on where I was going wrong. He sat behind me, and he's got the knowledge. He and Mav are two guys who have been at this for a very long time. They're like F1 veterans. So if there's anything you need to know, they're the guys you need to speak to. And if they don't convince you to buy it, I may have to try, because it's definitely a good game.
Well, I would.
Me, I'm an Ewok.
I would definitely buy it if I could participate, but because of my schedule and the region of the world that I live in does not allow me to participate, so I'm not just going to pay for it and not be able to get anything really out of it.
It really is a shame.
Oh, I know it's a shame. I wish I could. I really do wish I could, but I can't. So I live vicariously through you.
Oh. That's kind of an emotional pause there. But that's the F1. That's your Wednesday.
That's the whole week. Pretty much what we have rounding up the week, which will also be coming out, which after when this releases, as if you're listening to this now, it's Friday when it comes out. So if you're not busy on a Friday night, and you are somebody who plays Project Cars, or you're interested in it, what can they do, Ewok?
they can join me at 8 o'clock for the Friday Project. Yes, it's basically a warm-up for the weekend, whether you're doing Forza or Project Cars. You can jump on P-Cars, have a race around. We will be racing the car that we're racing that week for obviously the Project Cars League. However, you can jump in and just have a race. I mean, recently we had Witchcraft joined us on P-Cars. Lucky Eddie joined us. Tommy actually managed a whole night of racing, but only because his missus was away elsewhere doing something. So obviously the boss wasn't around. So obviously the cat's away, the mice will play. But yeah, that gets you set up for your weekend. That really does. So apart from race, I think that's your racing for the week, racing wise, to be honest.
That's it. Until we come back with episode 3, where we'll basically do this all over again, covering what's coming up, what tracks are going to be revisited, whether we think it'll be a good race because of the track or because of the cars on that particular track. We don't know. We'll let you know how we feel about things, but I'm get to just a step back at the F1 for a second. I'm gonna pick a winner. I know you guys are still early.
Well, you're gonna pick.
I'm gonna pick a winner. I'm gonna pick a winner for the season. I'm gonna pick Binary to win it all.
You're gonna pick Binary to win it all.
Yes.
Now that's quite interesting actually, because.
He keeps getting pole positions.
He keeps getting pole positions, but there's quite a lot going on track. And you know, as the season's going on, there's a bit of bumping, bit of grinding, which obviously isn't within the rules of F1. You've got to be very careful when it comes to contact. Mm-hmm. So it's you know there's some of the top drivers are really pushing. They're really pushing hard, and we've seen people take themselves out the race because they're pushing so hard. So. That's, you could be right there. He's consistent. But then, life might step in the way. He might have, a job. He might get called away. And
no, he's not allowed to now. I've picked him as a winner, so no, he's dedicated. He's committed.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I would. I have hired.
Well,
I have hired a watchdog over him to make sure that he's there each and every week. That he's training properly. He's eating regularly.
See, for me, I'd like one of the Ferrari boys to win it. I would like Looney Tunes or Maverick. And that's purely because it's their baby. And it'd be nice for one of them to win it just on the first seat in the first season, and then for them not to have to try. That's the way I see it.
I've already done that. Yeah, I did that with Project Cars. That was my baby. I ended up winning the season. The fact that nobody else really showed up for it doesn't really matter. But
all right, I'm numpty now. Well, thanks very much. Cool.
Yeah, you were the only one over there. But it was half the time it was just the two of us. And you were learning, learning how to manual shift. So.
Yes.
To really say you were competition, no, you were still learning how to properly drive the car, which I'm not going to fault you. I'd rather you do that and think about the long term.
You're saying it was a bit of a hollow victory, is what you're saying?
A little bit, yeah.
Formally, okay, right, okay.
It was a hollow victory. I mean, yes, I won the championship, but did I win it uncontested? Was it too easy for me? Yeah, it was. It was too easy for me because we didn't really have the competition.
As long as Dave tips up every week, we should be good.
Well, we got Dave, we got Junior coming in.
Oh yes.
So we'll see. We'll see how that happens. And
so the official word is that Binary's going to win it.
That's my pick for F1.
What happens.
Yes, and that is my pick to win the season. And if I change my mind, I'll let you know.
Strange. Oh no, you can't change mind. That's it. That's okay. That's it now. Now, obviously, that's we're talking about racing a little. We drifted off and talked about the industry as a whole, which I quite thoroughly enjoyed. That actually, it was quite good to sort of break away from the format. This is for you guys that are obviously listening to this, whether you're in the shower, in the toilet, driving your car, whatever you're doing, listening to your mobile phone. Is there any other games you want us to cover. I mean, obviously, the GLC does more than driving, more than racing. And obviously, there's a few games that are due to be coming out and stuff. Is there anything you want us to cover? You know, if that is the case, why not leave a little note on the YouTube page, or drop a note onto the GLC webpage, or even send us a PM on Xbox and let us know. If there's something you want to hear debated, discussed, why not? Mix it up. Let us know how you feel. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, if we get more to talk about, we can, you know, if we have to, we'll just make our race announcements briefer and briefer to really get full. But I don't think we're going to have that much of a problem because yet again we've run even longer than last time. We are now over the hour, and we're over the hour mark again. You know, almost an hour and 10 minutes.
Again. Wow. Okay.
Well, we start talking, it's just boom, it's gone.
So if you're still there, thanks very much.
If you're still listening, remember you can either, this is just an audio format, so you got your cell phone tuned in, and you can plug your cell phone into your radio while you're commuting. Or through your headphones, and just to listen. That's what it's here for. If you've got it on your computer or your Xbox, on the YouTube app, you can listen to it while you're, you know, doing other things, paying your bills, reading the paper, having your morning coffee. It doesn't matter. That's why we've went with this audio format, so that way you can accomplish other things while you listen to our annoying voices, give you our opinions on things.
And if you're one of our older members, wake up! It's time for your medication. You need to get yourself to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, the audio works. It definitely does work. This is the start of something special. It really is. This is the second weekend. I've been looking for this all week, like I said earlier, and it's only going to get better. And I can't,
especially when we start bringing in guests.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I can't wait for us to start getting the guests in, because we're not going to, like I said earlier, we're not going to hold back on the questions, and you have to answer the questions. That's part of it. And if you really, 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 really want to be on the show, the podcast, I'm not saying we're not open to bribes. But you know, we can give you our PayPal details.
Yes.
Starts at 65 quid.
Yeah, I'll take game codes for free games.
Yes, we are whores. We're game whores.
Oh, I'm easy. I'm easy like a Sunday morning.
Oh, but yes, we know. Yeah, we know.
But anyway, after this, another long podcast. It was a lot of fun. I love just basically sitting here shooting the shit, as we say in America, here with my buddy Ewok. I'm Gallifrey Madman. With my friend
Dirty Ewok 75.
with Dirty Ewok 75. I don't know. Like I said, he said, if you want to join us, let us know. Until next week, y'all. See you later. Catch you on track.
Take it easy.